Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Book Chat. I wanted to have a look at a book today because I was inspired by going to the bank machine. So here you go. Who knew that a trip to the bank machine would inspire a Book Chat book choice? So when I went to the bank machine and I pulled out one of our new $10 bills, I wondered how many people actually know the story about the person who is on the $10 bill. So for pretty much my entire life, it has been our first Prime Minister in Canada, Sir John A. Macdonald. And not that long ago, we changed the person on the $10 bill, and it is a black woman. And I wondered if many people actually knew who she was or why she was significant. So when I started asking around, people knew that it had been changed. They knew that it was a black woman on the bill, but they didn't actually know why she had been chosen. They didn't know her name. They didn't really know anything about her. So here is where kids' books come in great, because academic papers and novels are wonderful and extremely informative. But when you're talking about the average person and you want to just get some information out to them quickly, a well-written children's book can be really impactful. So the book that I have for you today is about this woman who's featured on the $10 bill, and her name is Viola Desmond. So the book that we have is called Viola Desmond Won't Be Budged. Now, I like this book for a lot of reasons. I like it because it tells her story, but also the cover is a really good indicator of the story. So you see her name on a movie theater marquee, and she's standing out front, and that is part of the story. So what I think we don't always recognize is that she was a successful businesswoman before she kind of launched into the history books here. So she didn't go out to change anything or to make any sort of a point, but she ended up making a huge impact based on her actions. So Viola ends up at a movie theater. She is on her way somewhere, and she ends up in New Glasgow, and her car breaks down. So she goes and passes the time while her car is being fixed and goes to a movie theater. And at the movie theater, she picks out a seat that she wants to sit in, and it turns out that those seats were only available to white people, and of course she's a black woman. So I just want to read you one page. When she gets asked to move to a different seat, it says, Viola felt sad, Viola felt scared, but most of all, Viola felt mad. Look, she said, I'm willing to pay the right price, and this is the seat I want, so I'm not moving. Well, said the usher, and went to tell the manager. Well, said the manager, and went to phone the police. And before you knew it, all three of them came up to Viola to insist that she move to the balcony. So what ends up happening is she refuses to move and ends up getting arrested and spends the night in jail. So we don't often think about people who end up on a Canadian dollar bill as people who made change without setting out to. When we look at who has historically been on Canadian dollar bills, it has been past prime ministers, and we know that they were out to create the country, to make change. They were elected political officials. So they obviously had a mission and a plan that they wanted to put into place. Viola Desmond is someone who ended up with a broken down car and just wanted to watch a movie, but ended up having a huge impact in Canada, and so much so that she ended up on our $10 bill to acknowledge those charter rights that all Canadians have, and that we need to look to equality. And I think it's a good reminder, especially now, that we don't all experience equality even still, but we can use our voices to advocate for equality for everyone in our community. So I think this is a great book. It's a quick read, and it's a great story. So again, I love that it is a true story. I love that it's a story about a strong Canadian woman, and I would highly recommend that you check it out, and ask people around you if they know who this woman is. When you get a $10 bill out of the bank machine, do you know who this woman is? And if they don't, then make sure that you share her story, because it's an important one for us as Canadians, and for citizens of the world as well. So I hope that you have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.